Welcome back to another Zwift race. This one was challenging because I hadn't raced or done anything particularly high intensity for about 5 weeks. So I've done plenty of riding. I've been to Mallorca with Zwift and Calpe with Cure Leukemia, which was epic. Loads of bike riding, steady miles, cafe rides, beers, everything that you cycle for. But the top end, it's not as sharp, and I love doing these Zwift races, but this one felt a little bit tougher. Now, on the route today, it's the Volcano circuit, it's 4.2k, there's like 5 laps, and as you can just see on that screen, there's a little bit of a kicker up to the finish line. It's nothing mega, it's like a few hundred meters, and it goes to about 6 or 7%, something like that. So my target today was to win it because this is a Cat D one and there's not loads of people in it. There's only 18 odd people in it. So my target was to win this race, and my tactic was to not get pushed around on that slope at the end of every lap. So if you're anything like me and you're like super psychological about this Zwift game, which is really pathetic, but I'm here for it and I love it, then you kind of look at what everyone else is doing, how they're riding. So as you go up like the first slope at the end of the lap, I'll look to see which riders kind of fall off the back and which riders suddenly shoot off the front. And you can see if they're sprinting, obviously if their watts per kilo goes up, or you can just see, obviously they're a lighter rider and they fly up the hills, or if somebody's having to, like myself, having to work a bit harder. So my tactic was, don't get pushed around on the slope at the end and kind of give it a bit of welly. So they're kind of thinking, oh, this guy isn't going to be pushed around. That's a really long way of saying, like, just stay at the front. So as we fast forward, we go down the little rise, and then it is the first lap and the first kind of time up the climb here. So as you can see, we're just approaching the first slope, and I'm steady at about 250 watts, but now we'll just push it up. So this is, like I say, it's nothing too hard and it's not super steep, but I've popped my feather light and I'm at 460 watts. I'm pushing fairly hard just to make sure that I don't fall towards the back and kind of people know, hey, this guy's no mug, or something like that. It goes something like that in my head. Obviously, it's only the first lap, so fairly steady. A couple of people come past me, but I've kind of held my position fairly well. We've got a few hundred meters now until where the finish line is. A few people have chosen to use the aero boost here. I guess it's if you haven't got a feather light, it's a decent place to use it at the end of the lap. But I'm just kind of seeing what people are doing before we go around again. So that's the first lap. Fairly steady. We're at 260 watts average for 8 minutes. So it's kind of riding, I wouldn't say comfortable, because I've got an FTP of around somewhere between 285 and 305, I'd say. So I'm not comfortable at that, but I'm kind of not on the limit either. So let's fast forward it a bit and go around another lap. One thing I didn't do during this race, obviously you've got a few times around the circuit, is there's a downhill before the uphill. And I don't feel like I took my speed into it very, very well. So what I normally do is, because I'm a bit heavier, I just naturally move to the front, and rather than attack or give it a bit of welly to get a run up and a bit of momentum into the climb, I kind of just use that time to chill and recover a little bit. So as you can see on the screen, I'm like 185 watts or something like that. Maybe in hindsight I should be pumping out a little bit more power, but then saying that, having not done this for a good few weeks, I probably needed the time to recover. I always find that Zwift racing is super helpful for getting fast at that top end, so the kind of threshold and VO2 max stuff. So I do like a ride every Wednesday with my mates, and it's 50k, and we go pretty fast for us. And we don't drop each other, but we kind of push each other. It's a group ride, and it's really fast. And that, if you do that for 3 or 4 weeks, that just really helps me. And I find the exact same with the Zwift racing. It just really develops my top end. Because you're not, the difference obviously with outdoors is that when you're outdoors you can coast down a hill a little bit, whereas generally speaking with Zwift you're on the gas pretty much all the time. So we're going up the little rise again, and as predicted I think this one gets up to about 6 or 7%. So the power goes up a little bit here, and we're at 300, and I think we go up to about 350 watts or something like that. A little bit more, 450, 475, yeah. And there's a couple of people where they're having a little bit of a go here, and we've still got a reasonable amount of time left. Yeah, we're only just over, 8.5k in, so I don't think they're going anywhere, so to speak. But it's just being a little bit mindful of not letting them get away, which they don't. So I kind of closed the gap a little bit there. And we all come back together shortly afterwards. I'm going to fast forward it to the good stuff now, right at the end. And I'm not doing a huge amount of racing at the moment. I will be picking it up again, and it's more just out of enjoyment than anything else. With what I've got planned, I don't really need to be, increasing my VO2 max efforts or anything like that. Now, we've got London to Paris coming up in June, 4th to the 8th of June with Cure Leukemia. We call that the Stag Do on Wheels, so it's not like super serious bike riding. It's just getting together with really good people, enjoying getting out on your bikes, having coffees, having beers, and raising money for an amazing charity. Then after that, I'm in New York for the summer, probably up to 6 weeks with Fozzy and the Fozcast. So we're doing World Cup shows out there. So an important thing, having 6 weeks away, it's going to be New York in the summer. So we'll probably take our bikes with us, definitely take our Bromptons to get about, maybe our road bikes as well, but it's going to be absolutely baking hot there in the summer. So I'm currently looking around online to see where I can find gyms that have got smart bikes, whether or not that's a Watt bike, a Tax bike, something with Stages bikes, those kind of like fancy spin bikes. Because when you're away for 6 weeks, you kind of got to have an element of routine, which is why we're looking for accommodation with kitchens, because we don't want to be eating out 3 times a day for 6 weeks and no exercise. So that's a recipe for disaster, obviously. And we are 1.2 kilometres from the end here now. So my plan was to step on the gas, go up here, and I was probably a little bit complacent on this race, thinking, I've won some Cat Cs and I'll be all right on this one. Not really realising that my legs weren't up to it. But I did think I'm going to go on a slightly long one. So as we go up the climb, I'm thinking to myself, right, go for it here, keep the power, sustain the power and roll through to the end. Which is sometimes easier said than done. We've got 800 meters left, and that can feel like a lifetime. And I didn't really commit either way here. I either should have pumped up to 500 odd watts and just clung on for dear life and tried to sustain that kind of power to the end and then see what I've got left in the sprint, hoping that I'm going to be a little bit ahead, or just sit in a little bit, wait for someone to sprint and react. And I've done neither really. So I've gone up the hill in really, really good position. Then my power's dipped right off. I'm 500, 400 meters out here, and I should be going for it and having a sprint. But instead, I got caught here. Look, I'm messing around with my screen, whatever I'm doing, changing this track probably, and boom, someone sprinted, and I have been caught out big time there. I don't think I'd have had the power to win it anyway, but I've reacted very, very late, and I've managed to claw a couple of them back. It's not enough. And if there was another probably 100 metres of road, 150 metres of road, I reckon I'd have probably took the win. But there wasn't. Third it was. And a bit of a rookie error there, kind of looking at my screen with just 200 or 300 metres left. But it was good fun. Always good fun Zwift racing, and that is the pain face right there that I've treated you to. So I'll see you next time. Get in the comments if you enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up. Thanks very much.